I love this whole idea of becoming multidimensional. I think it's because it helps limit the power of my old programs and it propels me to reach for something new. Yay! Something different than my past way of behaving, living, and attracting. Now listen, there are so many spiritual dimensions, but in this episode, I'm going to share a brief description of what the 8 spiritual dimensions are and tips to access them so that you can tap into your superpowers, your light, your freedom, and all your happiness. So let's get started. Now, everyone has their personal truth and sees life a certain way, which is a beautiful thing. It's our free will, right? Now, I've learned that when I get caught up in my thoughts, in my limitations, when I'm upset about my past and I'm worried about my future, I'm working and living in the 3rd dimension. And the only way to shift this is by updating my thoughts. Now, before I start to get into all the spiritual dimensions, let me explain how I see this in a simple way so that you know what the heck it is that I'm even talking about. Now, if some of my descriptions don't resonate with you, that's totally okay, especially when I start talking about those higher ones. It gets pretty complicated then. So, spiritual dimensions are just states of consciousness that are available to you. That's it. In each dimension, it has its unique gifts, its own frequency, and it has a unique way of interacting with it. So by knowing this and becoming familiar with these differences between the spiritual dimensions, you can become aware of where you're currently living and start to choose with your intentions other ones that you'd like to access. So if you're having a hard time connecting with those higher dimensions, know that it's just because your energy field is holding on to dense energy, old programs, and old beliefs. That's it. Think of it this way. If I were to strike an instrument like a sound bowl, right? And I were to strike it, it has a particular frequency. Now, if I were to touch it, the rim, with my other hand, the sound bowl is gonna make a whole different sound. It's not good or bad, it's just a different frequency. It's the same as you. Your thoughts are your striking tool, and your reaction to them, your emotions, it's what makes the sound. So the frequency which connects you to a particular spiritual dimension, this is what you're attracting in your life. So if you want a new relationship, a happier life, financial freedom, you just need to shift dimensions so that you can start to make your dreams come true. Now, the key to going up and down the spiritual dimensions is your thoughts and your intentions. I'm not just talking about using that analytical mind, because that's not enough. You must add your emotions. Your emotions emit a frequency. That's your magnet. That's why we're told over and over again, fake it till you make it, because what you put out is going to be matched energetically. It's the law. That's also why karma is such a bitch, but that's a whole other topic. So let's get started. I'm going to give you a brief description on each of the 8 spiritual dimensions and a tip on how I like to connect to it. Now, if you enjoy this video and you'd like to continue learning how to access these different dimensions and you want to become multidimensional, then come on over to my website and check out the Mastermind course. And we are going to dive deep into this ancient teachings of this work and have a lot of fun doing it. And plus, we get to hang out longer. So what does each dimension hold as a gift? The first dimension. This is where it's all about grounding and connecting to the heart of Gaia, the Earth's core. Now, to connect to this dimension, I like to ground and really work on my foundation. So what I'll do here is I will do meditations where I visualize connecting to the Earth's core. Now, the second dimension, this is the space between that inner core of the Earth and the surface. This is the world connected to those elementals in the crystalline grid. When I want to access this dimension, I work with my crystals. Now, the third dimension, this is the realm where we live. It's that linear space and time.
What happened to then?
We passed that.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
In this dimension, I use voice dialogue to access my subpersonalities so that I create a stronger, aware ego, so that I can start to see what old programs and what old selves are running my life. Now, the fourth dimension, this is the canopy of the collective consciousness, the astral realm. It doesn't have the limitations of time and space. In this dimension, I like to practice discernment, right? So I'll notice that if I'm focused on negative thoughts or drama or trauma, that I may start to attract negative entities. This is where I want to practice releasing, transmuting, and letting go of these energies and these entities. And again, this dimension is huge. It goes from really dark to really light. There's a lot going on here. The famous fifth dimension that everybody keeps talking about. This is the realm of unconditional love, where you are attuned in alignment with your potential, joy, passion, and expression. Now, to connect to this dimension, I like to practice gratitude and abundance. The sixth dimension. This is the realm of geometric forms that create materials and objects in the third dimension. So this is where I like to practice holding my center and becoming aware of those vibrational patterns that my physical body, my emotional field, and my mental field are putting out, right? This is also where I'll visualize my future self, who I want to be. I want to be strong, I want to be healthy, I want to be in great relationships. This is where I'll visualize that to help to manifest it into the third dimension. I also like to practice yoga. When you practice yoga, it brings your body in alignment with these higher energies. So that's a great little tip to help you connect to the sixth dimension. Seventh dimension. This is the realm of cosmic sound. It's through the harmony of sound that we can heal, to restart and update our DNA. Now, I like to connect to this dimension by listening to sound frequencies, binaural beats, working with the solfeggio tuning forks and sound bowls. You get the idea. On a side note, what's really cool here is if you've ever seen somatics, you can see how sound from this dimension affects the sacred geometric shapes in that sixth dimension. And it gives you an idea of how all these are layered together. The eighth dimension. This is the realm of the bright light. Blinded by the light. Blinded by the light. It's also where we access the divine mind. It's more of an experience that we feel in our heart. So to connect to this dimension, I'll do a sacred Mayan guided light meditation, which is super fun. So I know that this is a huge subject and we just scraped the surface, but I hope that this starts to give you an idea that you are so much more than you can possibly imagine. Until next time, I'm Marisa, your mystical guide.